Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge podcast. My name's Josh. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're doing okay. I'm doing okay. Allergies. Are your allergies in full season? Because my allergies are in full season right now. It's crazy what's happening. Anyway, today we're talking about Taylor, Frankie, Paul. Before I get into talking about the show, the Mormon Housewives, or Mom Talk, whatever the hell they call it, Real Mormon Housewives. I don't know what they call it. It's stupid, and it's like glorifying assholes, and I hate that they do that, but we're going to have to comment on it and snark on it. I can't snark on it like I normally do, like showing you the video, so I'm going to have to literally just watch each episode and then come back and tell you what I thought. Okay, that's it. But there is a podcast, I think it's called Nick Vile or Vile Files, where he actually interviewed her before the show dropped because she's looking for all the, you know, all the airtime she can get before the show drops and all this kind of stuff. She went out and did this video. I hate Mom Talk, and I hate what they all stand for and everything for a bunch of reasons. And Taylor, Frankie, Paul specifically is the top two that I hate the most. Whitney being number one, if you know anything about Whitney. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So Mom Talk is out. I have not watched any episodes yet. I'm going to start today with Wifey. I'm going to take my notes and do my videos on it. But yeah, it's bullshit. What these people got away with, and it's crazy that we make them more famous. Okay, the thing that bugs me the most about Taylor, Frankie, Paul, the exploitation, yeah, but it's not as bad as it once was when she was married and she was doing that stuff. But Mom Talk is a group of Mormon wives, right, who literally didn't adhere to any of the principles of Mormonism. They just used it to grow their platforms because Mormons will watch other Mormons because literally that's what they think is safe. Okay? Mormons are idiots, by the way. Let's be real, okay? Like, not all Mormons. Like, the people aren't idiots. Your religion is idiots, okay? The people inside are just lost, okay? It's no big surprise that I don't like Mormonism. Okay, I absolutely think it's a farce. I think that I think it's going to lead people to hell, is what I honestly believe. It's theologically ridiculous, okay? But they claim to be Christian and they lead people astray. I'm not saying that I'm a Christian leading people to Christ, nothing like that. But I consider myself Christian. I don't go to church anymore. I'm not a pastor anymore. But I lived that life for a very long time. And I do have a faith. But I just think that the Mormon religion is just bullshit. 100% bullshit. But these people are also 100% bullshit. And kind of glad that they're giving Mormonism a bad name because it deserves it. But they're not Mormons. That's the problem. They just used it to grow their platform. They might have went to Mormon church like most Catholics are Catholic. Like, they don't actually adhere to any Catholic Christian principles at all. They just call themselves Catholics because they were born Catholic, right? Same as Christians in the south of the States. They were like, oh, I was born Christian, so you're Christian. Not Christian. There's only one way to get to heaven, everybody, okay? There's only one way. If you believe what I believe. Anyway, all that to say is that they use Mormonism to prop themselves up to make themselves famous because, again, Mormons will consume Mormon content. That's how Eat Passengers got so big. Bonnie Holding. That's why there are so many effing Mormon influencers out there, and almost all of them have fallen apart if you think about it. Okay, almost every single one of them is a farce. Look at what's-her-face, friggin' Jordan Page, Fun, Cheap, and Free. Now she's out there being all fun, cheap, and free, if you know what I'm saying. Divorces her husband. Everybody's getting divorced. These people are swinging. They call it soft swinging. That's what she got caught doing, okay? They did everything but intercourse, right? Which is, if you think about it, it's crazy what Mormons will do to avoid the sin of the thing when they've sinned so already. It's insanity to me. It's insanity to me that the things that Mormons, it's just do the thing. That's all I'm saying. Hot or cold, if you're warm, you're a douche. Okay? I know that I'm cold. I'm not a hot Christian. I'm not someone who's... I'm in an era of my life where I'm questioning a lot of the things, specifically about hell. I'm deconstructing. I don't like religion at all. Okay? I, hate it. And yes, I was hurt by the church, of course. Is probably where it all stems from, but it made me wake up. Okay? I had to wake up at that point. And it's actually deepened my faith on the other side without the institution, if that makes any sense to anybody. I don't know if it does. Some people might make sense, some people doesn't. But all that to say is that Mormonism is just bullshit, and these people are also bullshit. So you've got so many influencers out there who are Mormon because they use the Mormon religion to grow their platform to make money, and most of them are not. Most of them don't have a, what do you call that, the temple pass or whatever, done the secret handshakes, have baptized. None of them have done any of that shit. They just go on a Sunday, if that. And so Taylor Frankie Paul is one of the main ones. I think she started Mom Talk, or whatever you call this bullshit. One of the earliest videos I remember of Taylor Frankie Paul was when she used to wear, like, literally, you could see her labia while she's dancing in front of her child with a helmet on. And it pissed me off so badly because these women, that's what they did. She started this bullshit thing. She says she does, but she was a big part of this, where people would answer a question on TikTok while dancing. Whitney did this. Whitney's another girl in this thing that she's the most hated, most volatile disgustoid on the channel. Like, and I'm just starting my deep dive into Whitney, and oh my gosh. When you find out Whitney's the one who did this dance, okay, where she's dancing in front of her baby who has RSV, and she's like, yeah, the day baby's gonna die. That's her. Okay, that's part of Mom Talk. These are these people who will do anything for attention. Anything. Okay? And then they get caught swinging and cheating, so they were soft swinging, right? And then she was actually cheating. And then the husband goes off, and they all get divorced, everybody breaks up, and some of them stayed together, some of them whatever. It's all bullshit, okay? She gets divorced, and the husband allows her to keep her kids on the platform, which is bullshit. Then she gets with this other guy who's a drug addict and all this kind of stuff, and just volatile situation. On and off again, every other day, every week, she's breaking up with them on TikTok. Then they have a baby together, because that's healthy. Right? She gets arrested for domestic violence, which is what pisses me off the most about this double standard bullshit. Okay? So this woman throws multiple items, including a chair, a metal chair, while fighting with this guy, Dakota. Hits her child with it and gets arrested for domestic violence. Okay? I don't give a shit if you've done the work or you hope people forgive me. I don't give a shit. If I ever did that, do you think anybody would ever forgive me? Do you think if any man did that, who's on social media, did something like that, they wouldn't be canceled tomorrow? Right? I don't like the double standard, because if a man does that, it's like, oh my gosh, burn him alive. And I agree. Okay, I agree with that. But if a woman does, like Taylor Frankie Paul, she's done the work. You got to see these comments, man. It's crazy to me. Anyway, then she gets rewarded with a Hulu television show. They get rewarded for being assholes, for being disgusting, just vile, grosses pieces of shit. It bothers me in this world. The people that I cover, almost all of them are vile disgustoids, okay? And they all get rewarded with literally extravagant lifestyles, huge paychecks, and fame. Why do we make the dumbest fucking people famous? Somebody explain it to me, please. What in the hell? I know part of it is that we want to watch train wrecks. We can't take our eyes away. We hate watch because we hate them. I understand that. I get that. I do understand that. But there are people who truly stand these people, and they offer literally zero to the world. Zero to the world. Do you understand that? There's nothing good about their content. They're not funny. All they literally offer are being thirst traps. That's it. So men want to go look at this girl's labia while she dances in a leotard in her living room. That's all that she offers to the world. That is not giving anything, especially as if you think you're a Mormon. Like, what in the fresh hell? And so people are like, they celebrate her because the Mormonism is like a religion that is very patriarchal, and they don't want their women dressing slutty. They frown on sex before marriage and stuff like that, and they have all these crazy rules, very similar to Christianity, to be honest with you, very similar to like fundamental Christianity. And so they're all like, good for you, girlfriend, soft swing, and do what you gotta do, don't let the church get you down. And I kind of get that, but that's crazy that they're celebrating somebody who's a complete dickweed, who could have killed their child. A metal bar stool throwing it at your child could have killed your child. And everybody seems to forget it. And that's why I will not relent on this Taylor Frankie Paul bitch, okay? I will not do it. She doesn't deserve your like, your comment, nothing. She's a piece of shit, okay? And they all stand on religion, which is insanity to me. And they get away with it. So anyway, this is the Vile Files, or whatever it's called. Is it called the Vile Files? Nick Vile. And he's got the timestamps I'm looking at. That's why if I'm looking up, you'll see I got the timestamps here. And it's a pretty long podcast. It might have to be a two-parter, but like, I don't know. It not only is that, but it's not only is it that they're trash, but it's interesting to see trash and see their perspective, so we can snark on it because they deserve it. Okay, let's watch this bullshit. You get some pretty big guests on a show, though. Holy smokes. With a pixelated logo.
Taylor, welcome to the Val Files.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
What is this audio?
Yeah.
We often like to start these episodes with a heavy question.
Oh.
I think it's appropriate for you. How's your heart?
My heart?
Yeah, how's your heart?
That
Just
is
like-
heavy.
Yeah, it's like early.
My heart right now is very full and overwhelmed.
Okay.
I'm rich from Hulu for being a trash, and then I get to be more trash and get paid to be trashy. I mean, all of these shows, though, that we've watched, that you've all watched, that are just like gross, okay? People love trash. I don't understand it. Is it because you feel better about watching it because they're trash and you're not? Is that what it is? Or you want to feel, or is it that people who are trash want to be justified in their trashiness? I don't know. It explain it to me, because I think it's the other way. I think people just want to feel better about themselves. This guy looks familiar, by the way. Is he on a TV show or something?
Full and overwhelmed. That seems appropriate given where you're at today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Well, we have a lot to cover.
Okay.
That's a huge candle in the front.
We do appreciate you coming. I feel like this has been a long time coming.
Yes, 2 years ago I talked to you.
Yeah, when Mom Talk blew up.
Okay, 425. I can't do it. I can't watch them blow smoke up each other's ass. It doesn't sit well with me. 425 is where it starts, apparently.
My life, was it for better or for worse?
Sure.
And so they're like, I think let's add Taylor back on, you know?
Okay. So let's rewind a little bit.
Okay.
When you first came out on the scene and you were all of a sudden like, hey, I'm Taylor Frankie Paul, I'm a Mormon, I'm a swinger, life's crazy. What even prompted you to even start that
Yeah.
chaos, so to speak?
Okay.
Money and fame and attention. What kind of question is that? Why does anybody literally dance with their child almost half naked? You're looking for attention. I am an attention whore. I am starved for the accolades and the likes and comments of strangers on the internet. That's the only answer here. Well, I want attention.
Okay, so we were obviously like in an open relationship with a group of friends.
And when you say we, you and your ex-husband?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that's kind of why I bet your husband also, because he was taking a part in the soft swinging, like the audacity of him to be like, she cheated on me. You were too, dude. If he was taking part in the soft swinging, if he was getting his stuff done, even though it wasn't penetration, he was still cheating too. Like the audacity of that, like, and I can't believe I'm staying for Taylor Frankie Paul on this side, but the audacity. This guy be like, well, she cheated on me. She broke the rules of swinging. Can you imagine?
my best friend, you know, so, and some other people, but
When you say best friend, you mean also your ex-husband, or there was another person?
yeah, another person,
Okay.
like obviously the group. So I have my husband, and then I have my best friend, and then her husband, and then like some other people.
Are their names out there? Are they public figures as well, or are they of trying to avoid being brought up in this conversation? Because it does seem kind of unclear, right? Like who
Yeah.
was actually involved?
Yeah,
in
it's like,
this?
is it the girls on the show with you? Because they all seem like kind of mad that you said this, but then it's like, was it even them? It is very confusing.
It is. It's a sticky situation because it's not like, it's my story of like what happened to me, but also people involved, and I feel like I owe them some sort of like privacy and
Do you?
respect, but I'm also trying to give the story. So on my part. So it's really
She's trying not to get sued, is what she's saying. I can't tell the other side. She could. She wants to. It's her truth, as long as it's the truth. Maybe she signed NDAs. Maybe she got paid off. I don't know.
really hard to like not like full on like I mean people kind of know, like if you really wanted to like my friends, like it's out there, and yes, she is a public figure, so it's
She's just giving it away.
not hard to put the finger on it. They've come out, and podcasts have came out since the show is coming.
So they've spoken on it.
Yes, but which to why, right? Like why are they getting scared? Why are people scared? And it's like you guys are just like outing yourself still at this point. Like I've never
I still don't understand why people wear headphones when you're in the same room together. Make it make sense. And maybe if you're watching something, I understand that. If you want to hear someone else talk, if they're coming in, but if you're on the same room, you don't need headphones.
gonna come clean and like say names, like that is up to them if they want. In which there's a podcast out now and different stories, and it's just it's messy there again. Like I can only tell like my side, so I know that's
Wow. Thanks for being super vague, asshole.
why. And the girls in the show, they were kind of like involved because I had said Mom Talk. Someone from Mom Talk's involved, so everyone was like, oh, everyone.
So you're
Trying to figure out who it was in
Yes.
the Mom Talk group.
Are you still best friends with this girl?
no,
Obviously, she slept with her husband.
no, that ended
There's been a total falling out
that summer. Yes,
because you
Of the-
outed
Of the cheating.
everyone?
No, because she cheated.
So that one is more, it's actually, I don't think I've even gone more into detail about that. So the day going back, I had an affair at the night of we were all drinking, and I had an affair with one
Mormons can't drink. TK smoothie time.
of the men that we were already intimate with, like.
Okay, so let's back up even. How did the whole swinging stuff start?
It wasn't even a conversation. I think we were all drinking, and partying, and then
What is it with Mormons and swinging with other people's husbands and wives? What is it? Remember the thing that came out about Ruby, Frankie, Bonnie, and all those like Mormons? Literally, there's a guy who came out and said that they like even between brothers and sisters and stuff of Frankie. It is Frankie, Ruby, Frankie's that family, that side of things. Even he was coming out and saying they were doing this kind of stuff, and it's like hasn't been fully addressed. And man, if he wants to come on my show and fully address it, I'm happy to. But what is it about Mormons and like pervertedness? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I say pervertedness because it's outside of what they're supposed to be doing. It's pervertedness according to their religion. Okay, why are they so perverted? That's weird to me. Why can't you just keep it in your pants?
guys were like, you girls should make out. Like, make out, you know, it's hot. I'm like, okay, it's hot. And so we make out, and that's that. And I feel like I had done that in my younger years. It wasn't a big deal to me, so I was like, okay.
So you were never Mormon, is that what you're telling us? Okay.
And then
college, yeah.
Yeah, like, but we're all,
Did she go to college?
you know, married Mormons with kids, but yeah, like the same thing.
I don't like her.
Yeah, so we just did that, and then I think we did another.
Has there been a worse glow down yet than the Taylor Frankie Paul of old to new? Has there been a worse one?
The guys were like, oh, that was awesome. Like, we were driving home. It was just like this weird, like, whatever. Again, we threw another party, and same thing. And then it was like, let's take off your clothes and do lingerie pictures together while making out. And it just, like,
Everyone was kind of turned on by...
Yeah.
They're like digging deep because they want to know like the dirty disgustingness.
Okay.
How many couples are
At this point, 2. It's just me and another couple. Well, it's just us and
Well, she's making it sound like party. So you had one guest over.
another couple.
Just a
It just
foursome.
starts, yeah, so very, yeah, it just like escalates. And then we do this for a while with this couple, cabin parties, making out in the same bed, intercourse
Watching.
in the same bed next to each other, and the girls kissing and the husbands touching the other wives. I don't know if you want details, but like it just
They do want your details,
like
We want details.
okay.
obviously, so they can get more views.
It just starts to escalate and then there's another couple. We have parties, and you can kind of gauge, like, I don't know how you know, but you kind of can gauge who would be down and
who's
who
down,
wouldn't,
yeah,
you know? So there was another couple that we brought in probably a year later.
So they start convincing other couples to come in and ruin their marriage too, because they're selfish assholes, and misery loves company.
And he's like, yeah, we should get the girls to make out. Like, he jokes, the husband. And so the husband, like, the other guys are like, oh, yeah, like, this guy's probably down, right? And
They probably texted him and said, "Hey, we're gonna do this thing, do this."
so they bring this couple in, and so the couple's like, do you guys want to have like a foursome, like one of our second times hanging out? And we're like, whoa. And so me and my husband start to escalate with this couple because they're like more down, and you
Than
could
the original.
you could just tell, like, this one is like all on board, where the other one's maybe like one's on board, one's
Held back
not.
a little bit, yeah.
So I think
That's
I feel like
crazy.
things
That's so unhealthy.
kind of went crazy there. And then there was a point that to be, you know, I guess if you want details, we were at a cabin. I'm with this other man, completely naked, like we're about to like go full force, and then he's with the wife he's about to go full force.
Your
And, like,
ex-husband. is
yes.
his- okay.
And I think he's like super drunk. He comes to like this realization of like,
Your ex-husband or the
Yes.
other guy? Okay.
yeah, my ex, and he's like, we can't do this. Like,
A little late now, bro. You've done the sin.
what if one of you gets pregnant? We don't know, like, who's the dad. Like, this is not okay. Like,
Yeah. And we say that out loud. It gets weirder.
yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, I don't even know how we got to this point. So he like says,
Because dumb people are real fertile. That's why.
let's cut back. Let's maybe not do this. And the other couple, right? The man of the other couple is like, yeah, let's not do this anymore with this couple, because this man is getting jealous of like this situation. So it gets really weird really fast, and they're like, let's chill. And so
This sounds healthy.
my husband's like, okay, maybe we should stop doing it with our best friends, like our friends, and like maybe we could do this with strangers. Like, I think he wanted to close the whole thing down because he's
More
like,
healthy behaviors.
he could kind of see people are creating feelings at
Strangers.
this point. Like,
Yay, diseases.
friends, like you can tell people are like getting jealous, weird, and so he's like, let's cut this out, you know. And so I'm like, okay, well, it kind of sucks because we're used to this party now. Like, I'm like, this is fun. Like, why? Like, why? And so I wasn't on board then. And so we were kind of on different pages the whole time. And then, yeah, I ended up catching feelings for one of the men in the group. And one of the men caught feelings for me. So it was kind of like 3 out of the 6 caught feelings.
You think? What do you think's going to happen when you start having sex with each other? Idiots.
And then I had the affair. I had an emotional affair. Like, I feel like we were all texting each other weirdly anyways. Like, it was just a weird thing. Like, everyone was...
When this started, I mean, you describe it, I mean, maybe innocently is the wrong word.
Nonchalantly. She doesn't give a shit.
But you guys, the way you describe it is like, you know, inexperienced swingers in a way.
Yes. We had no idea what was going on.
And you were being very...
You had no idea what was going on. Should you just say that? See, this is the problem with people like her who will never be held accountable. She doesn't want to take the blame. She doesn't want to feel guilty for doing something stupid. She's like, we didn't know what we were doing. You didn't know what you're doing. You're adults. You have children. You're married. You know what you're doing. You know what your religion states too. We don't know what we were doing. That's the problem with narcissists. Right? They'll gaslight you into oblivion and they'll be like, oh, I was drunk or I didn't know what I was doing. How many times does Charity make excuses right now for being drunk? Were they drunk every single time? And if so, that's not an excuse. You can't get away with it just saying you're drunk. You're not supposed to be drunk as Mormons anyway. Not even allowed to have soda.
Yes.
And it seemed like...
Or coffee.
Yeah, you almost like a bunch of young, kind of inexperienced people who didn't do the thing that I think people who do participate in this lifestyle often do, which is set very clear and defined boundaries. And there seems to be people with, I guess, at least some experience. I think there's the sex element of swinging and things like that. That, you know, it's the juicy stuff, the stuff, the details we want to know type of thing.
Yeah.
But there is, I think, for the people who participate in this kind of untraditional lifestyle, for those who do it, I get successfully.
Yeah.
There are rules and there are boundaries and there are clear conversations and I get the impression that none of that was going on in your group.
No. Nope. I mean, the most we had a conversation with my husband was, like, let's just make sure we're not doing any of that, like, behind closed doors with anyone. Like, no...
It's so stupid. These people are so stupid. And again, this is just another one of those crazy rules like soaking, right? So if you don't know what Mormon soaking is, Google it. Okay? Basically... they put in these parameters so they can avoid in their heart what they think is the sin part. So they're like, well, let's just make these parameters of swinging, like not behind closed doors, but like together we're only doing it. Like they think that makes it better. That's the problem, right? That's the problem with religion. It's because people are looking for loopholes. Always looking for loopholes. Why can't she have the toy?
Taking off. Like, because these parties got, you know, pretty crazy. You're drunk. Like, you don't know where everyone is at all times. And so it was, like, messy. And so I think we, like, came to terms. And that's where I went wrong.
Was it, like, at some point at the height of these crazy parties were individuals in relationships kind of like sneaking off to another room, like almost like a high school college party where like people disappear and you're then in a room and they hook up, or is this all in the same
Her face is giving it away that yes, that's what happened.
Room together?
She's not allowed to say it.
Their orgy style.
I want to call it the after hours of our parties. So I would say there were cabins in my house.
Okay.
So we would have lots of people there.
Why their kids are there, by the way. Brother, ew. Like, you imagine swinging and having orgies while your children are sleeping in bedrooms? And nobody talks about that. Like, that's just disgusting. What is wrong with you? Oh my, like, the just debaucherous disgustingness. And I know that's me clutching my pearls and being all like, and my haters are going to be like, oh my gosh, he shames people who cheat on their husbands. Shut the fuck up, you idiots. This isn't normal. This is why someone like Kira's hated. Cheating is not normal. Doing this is not normal. Stepping out on your wife and husband, and that's not normal, guys. It's never has been normal. Okay, in fundamentalist Mormon culture, it's normal, but they're not fundies. Okay, it's not normal. That's why we look at this stuff and are like, that's not normal. It's like a zoo. That's something you don't get to see every day. It's why you watch this bullshit.
Like lots of couples, I would say that like to like drink, you know, everyone was flirty and whatever, and so they'd go home, and then the main people would stay, and it's kind of where things would escalate. So, like, one of the husbands was always spending the night at my house, like, without his wife. She'd go home and he'd spend the night. Nothing really ever happened, like, without...
Yeah, nothing happened, eh? Mm-hmm.
Without her, but, like, it was weird that he was staying the night in general, you know?
Yeah, that is weird. Mm-hmm. And you didn't just send him home?
Mm-hmm. Like, my husband would be like, I don't know, like, he's here, like, he would go in and check on me at night, like, because we had separate bedrooms. I don't know if you remember that, like...
Your ex-husband did?
Uh-huh. I talked talked about that a lot, I feel like. But like,
Why? Snoring?
On like podcasts and stuff, and it's on the news. I don't know why, but anyways, like,
shut up.
CNN.
Yeah.
Mormons slept in separate bedrooms, breaking.
No, the really sad thing, it was like you can make a marriage work with separate bedrooms, and it was on the news, and then my news came out after, and it was like it was.
No, you can't. Not in this case, I guess. Depends. Sometimes I do dream of having the most plushest mattress that ever exists, but my wife likes to sleep on a bed of bricks. And so we have to meet in the middle, and so we have a bed of bricks. But sometimes, like when I go to a hotel, if I travel by myself or something, the hotel bed, I have the best sleep of my entire life because I like to sleep on clouds. I want my body to be engulfed. I don't want to be like rigid. I want to be like, come enter the clouds. And my wife's like, come sleep on the slab.
It was a mess in itself in that one. That's another story, but. So he'd come in and check on me. But yeah, it was the after hours. Like we would just get down like after everyone left, and it would be in a room, yeah, or the living room of a cabin. We'd get
in the living room where your children play.
Blindfolds and place in the bottle, and everyone would make out with everyone. You get a blindfold. All the husbands would have to kiss me to have to guess, and vice versa.
Ew.
It's very Love Island.
Very
yeah,
Love Island.
Lots of games. Like,
yeah.
Okay, anyway, I don't give a... I'm not going to okay, whatever. 1405, she talks about religion. Let's do that.
Still sticks. But
I think there's obviously going into this new season, I think there's always been a fascination with the Mormon religion.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up very Catholic.
Which means he's not Catholic.
Not the same as Mormon, but
yeah.
I'm very familiar with a very devout upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously a lot of the expectations, the shame around sex, the pressure of maintaining a certain lifestyle, or at least the appearance of a lifestyle, I think is very fascinating. I think that's why so many people are excited and fascinated for this show. As you look back, what role did your upbringing in your religion, your faith, how you I don't know how devout you are today, how did that play a role in this all happening, the soft swinging? Or is that just kind of like, yeah, we happen to be Mormon, but like honestly that has nothing really to do with it?
Well, I feel like I can't speak for like them, but I will say a lot of them, like their spouses were like their first person they'd ever been with.
Okay. So
that being said, I feel like this was
not her though.
Was like such, like you're saying, like it's something you do in college.
So she's she's the drama, it's her. So Sarah Frankie Paul had a promiscuous lifestyle, obviously. Okay, she just admitted it. And so she comes into this group, she runs the show. Obviously she wears the pants in the family. She runs Mom Talk, she brings these people. She is the catalyst for getting people to ruin their fucking marriages. She's the one that probably suggests all this stuff or gets her husband to. She's the one who's down for it. All the men have to kiss me and guess who I had to guess which husband is. Like, she's the slut. She's literally the slut bag of the entire group. And so she came in having experience where all these other wives didn't and these husbands didn't. And she's like, well, we gotta fix that. Right? And so she is the catalyst. And she's telling you she's the one. She's the problem. And she's like, but we were drunk.
And so I feel like they didn't really experience that. My ex partied for the first time at age 29. So it was like very new to them. And so it was exciting.
So these people were devout to some degree and they came into her life and then now are no longer devout. Do you understanding? She's a snake. She's literally a snake that gave Eve the apple. She's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Good though, because Mormon is wrong. So maybe it's for the best.
And so I felt like, for me, I had partied like in my younger years, so
obviously
I experienced.
We can tell
this, but I think for them they didn't. So it was like very like, that's why it was so messy. It was just so fast, and we didn't know what we were doing. We were like almost like kids, like
Not you. They were. You weren't.
Acting like it. But religion, I guess that's the only part. Is like I feel like they were so devout as growing up, like a lot of them, that this was like just like can of worms open, and so it was like an experience, but. For me, I feel like, religion didn't play a part in it other than guilt of like, this is wrong. And I think maybe not even religion. You can kind of see like that's probably not right. But in our heads, it was right. It was okay because our spouses knew.
See the loopholes that these people create? And it just seems, it's not just Mormons. Don't get me wrong. Trust me. I went to Bible college. Okay. It's every religion that has a fundamental sect to it. Okay. Mormonism, Christianity, Catholics, all of them. Like, How many like mobsters are Catholic, right? But they'll kill people. But the Mormons seem to be more prolific in it, right? So they're, again, always looking for loopholes out of it. They're always looking for ways to just, oh, but it wasn't wrong because their spouses knew. Did Joseph Smith know? Did God know? What about those people?
You're on the same page, so I felt like it wasn't wrong. In the time, I was like, this is fun. We're not doing anything wrong. Like, this is good. Like,
Nope. It's a sin. It's literally a sin. We're talking about the religious part. That's why I'm bringing this up. What they're doing is a sin. If you do it in your heart, that's why none of us are free of any of it. God says if you do it in your heart, like, that it's the same thing as doing it in the flesh. So none of us are obviously free of this sin. None of us are. But they're like, again, they're like, no, it's fine. We all knew about it. So if you knew that your husband killed somebody, is that okay? Because you knew about it? What kind of logic is that? That's so stupid.
like
I think Nick can relate to just the like feeling guilt of, I mean, like being so Catholic growing up, and then like you like making out with a girl or something, and you'd be like, wait, no, this is wrong.
Yeah, no,
I'm not allowed
there's
to do
definitely
this.
like any time when I was in high school, if I would mess around with someone, there's always like a shame hangover the next couple days of like, I shouldn't have done that, or all these things. Or,
You're raised with it to feel that way.
Yeah.
So how do you not?
Yeah, it definitely fucks with you. And I think when it comes to the Mormon religion, there's a lot of, it seems, or whether it's the Mormon religion, I guess, or any other kind of devout Christian faith-based life, there seems to be a lot of loopholes, it seems like, or sort of.
No. There is no loopholes, okay? Like, I know what he's saying, though. He says it seems to be that there are a lot of made-up loopholes. Like, you're practicing religion, have people who want to make up loopholes. There are no loopholes in sin, everybody, okay? There is none. There's no gray areas. There really isn't, unfortunately, for a lot of people who think that there should be, because there isn't. It's black and white. It is hot or cold. There is no in between. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Okay, so I know what he's saying, but he said it wrong.
Stories you hear about Mormons, what's the very common one?
Soaking.
Oh gosh, no.
I don't know if that's. I don't know. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a thing?
It's a thing.
It is a thing.
It's absolutely a thing.
It is over in Orem, Utah. Your favorite, No, it's a thing.
And for the people who don't know what that is.
You want me to say, right?
Well,
Obviously, he wants you to just because that's this guy.
I mean,
Or does not?
I can say it's the guy just puts his penis inside of the woman and doesn't move. Just
and then you
there.
have a friend bounce.
Is
Friend jumps on the bed to shake it.
that real though? Does a friend
It's real.
actually jump on the bed to move?
I don't know if that part's real.
That seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like you have to.
Okay, so that seems crazy to you, but the idea of like I'm gonna stick my pee in your V, but it's not sex, that doesn't seem real? Okay. No. Again, she's proving to you that the Mormon religion is like this. Get your friends involved so that it's outside control. It just slips in and then my friend jumps in the bed. Oh my gosh, we had sex. But I didn't thrust, so there's no sin there? Like, think of the logic. Think of the freaking... That's why I hate Mormonism. Oh my gosh.
And I'm not even bringing it up to like do a master class on
Soaking.
Yeah.
But it's more how much, that's a very specific one, but how much of that kind of stuff goes on in the Mormon faith with people?
All of it. If you think about what the Mormons are allowed and not allowed to do and consume, it's crazy because they all consume it and they all do it. That's everybody. Mormonism, that's because, hear me out. I've just had an epiphany of why. It's because Mormonism is fake and everybody seems to freaking know that in their hearts. Okay, it's just a bullshit religion and it's not real. And so the fundamental sect of the Mormon religion is made for men who want to have multiple wives, and like it's a patriarchal society, and they get like their wives are just baby makers and just there for men's pleasure, and so it's great for men. Okay, but I think in your heart, you go to this church, you feel like you belong to this community. It's like a country club, and you've got a community of people like-minded like you, and you're all white, and you live in the suburbs and everything else. It's just part of this like country club community thing. Right? But I think in their heart, especially Mormons, know that the religion is farce. It's a farce. It's completely fake. And so they can, without guilt, do all these things because it actually isn't true. Mormons believe, I think, honestly, in their heart, if you're a human, you got to believe that Joseph Smith was an asshole who was a pedophile who made shit up. The whole religion is made up. It's bullshit. Okay, and I think deep in their hearts, the people who are on the outside, who aren't the card-carrying fundamental members of the church, they don't believe it, and so it's easy for them to just do this crap. They don't believe it. That's the only answer.
there are a lot of like loopholes.
Oh,
People
yeah.
talk about like anal sex. Like, is there are there conversations in the Mormon community where like anal sex isn't losing your virginity, or oral sex is like
Absolutely.
how does that
That's
work?
in the Christians too.
Work in with people in your community?
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to speak for them because, you know, they'll all come to me saying she doesn't speak for us, but like
Just from your point of view,
it happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and I feel like, yes, you're trying to find this like loophole of like, is it such a natural desire, you know, to want to, you know, have sex and whatnot, especially someone you love, right? That's just like, but we're taught that don't do it until you're married. So it's like bad, you're married, good. And so I feel like for women, it is a little like, I've heard stories of where they felt very confused of like what they're supposed to do on their wedding night because it's so taboo to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. A lot of people aren't, and so they're scared to go to their parents too because we're taught it's wrong, right?
Yeah.
It's not wrong within the confines of marriage, and even Mormon teaches that it's not wrong. But I hear what she's saying. The Christian religion is the same way. It's very, very rarely brought up, and like very, very rarely. And women women are treated way differently than men when it comes to losing their virginity, especially in Christian religion. It's absolutely bullshit. By the way, it's purity culture is one of the biggest farces that Christianity's ever perpetuated, and it's disgusting because it's ruined a lot of people. It's turned a lot of people away. And I'm not saying advocating for like, you know, go out and be promiscuous. I'm just saying that the way that they came about it. It's biblical to stay celibate until you're married. It is biblical, okay? But the way that they did it and the way that they shamed women more than men for like my whole childhood and stuff like that, it's unforgivable what the church has done in so many ways. It's just crazy. But what she's saying there is that, yeah, they just haven't talked. And so when you release a child without educating them on the true realities of life, they're always going to indulge and become addicted. Okay, always, almost always. Like the homeschool kids I knew growing up who actually went to a college later in life, almost all the homeschool kids I knew growing up, none of them are Christian anymore because they tasted the real world that their parents hid from them, and their parents thought they were doing some good. It's not, man. Sheltering anybody from anything is not good, because as soon as that person gets a taste of that, they're going to be mad at you for like holding that from them, from hiding it from them. There's a lot like that. And that's a hard navigation as a parent, right? Especially as, you know, what am I going to do when my daughter becomes of age and stuff like that? How am I going to talk to my kids about that? I'm just going to have an open and honest conversation with them about what the realities of it all is, right? We all want our kids to find love and to have great, strong relationships. We all want that. But I'm never going to shame my daughter ever, or my sons for that matter, for like, you know, for if you do this thing, I'll never speak to you or anything like that. Like the big thing in our house was beat teen pregnancy is always was the thing with the teenage boys and stuff like that. Thank God we did, right? But like, damn, the Mormons are just as bad as Christians when it comes to this purity culture thing. Mormons are worse, I think, to some degree, because look what happens. This is proof is in the pudding, and then they're being celebrated for it.
And so I don't know for the loophole. I was never like by the book, so more devout Jen might be the one to ask how that is, or like Whitney, you know.
When she says I was never by the book, it means she's never really a Mormon. Okay, they just use it as the platform. They weren't Mormon. I'm not saying I'm not by the book means that you're not Mormon. Okay, you're not. You're just on the out. You just go for fun. You go because your friends go or some reason. I don't know why you go. If you're not going to live by the principles of your religion, why the hell would you go? What is the point of going? Are you crazy? Stupid idiots.
Resort to missionary. I was a little against the rules all the time too, and I would wake up feeling, you know, guilt. And even for like a cup of coffee, like that one I had to like let go because like I would drink coffee and I feel like this guilt because you're not supposed to. And so when you're saying you wake up with that like hangover,
what kind of religion says you can't drink coffee? You're silly. Mormons, you're so silly. Okay, I understand the soda. I get that. For like a dietary perspective, you shouldn't drink soda. Soda's bad for you. I have one once in a while. It's delicious. I get it, right? But they're like, you can't have soda or tea. I don't think you have anything with caffeine in it, anything that changes your state of mind, which is okay. But they can go get plastic surgery. It's crazy.
Of guilt, it's very real and true. In that sense, though, I feel like I was more on the wilder side. Like, you know, I still did all of that, you know, even though I wasn't supposed to, and so the other girls might be better for that.
Gotcha. But so
they're not coming on the show though.
From your standpoint, you're basically saying the soft swinging phase of your life was more just Taylor being the wild child, but maybe for the other participants, there might have been some religious, rebellious
absolutely
elements to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I had been.
So she's admitting to you right now that she wasn't a Mormon. She's not a Mormon. She's lying to you, and she's admitting it to you right now. She was the wild child who led Mormons astray. Okay, it's basically what she has done. Okay, but why does she get to go on a show about being an ex-Mormon or being a Mormon when she's not? She's admitting to everybody right now she's not a Mormon. She's not. Just because you enter a temple on a Sunday does not make you a Mormon. And I think LDS would tell you that. I think you'll see in the comments below here, because people will come at me because there's a lot of LDS who watch me for some reason, which is crazy. They know I hate the religion. I don't hate you as a person if you're a Mormon. I think that you've been led astray, and I hope someday you do find Jesus. But I do get a lot that come at me. They're like, you don't know anything about it? I'm like, I clearly know a lot about it. Yeah, I know theology, especially. Okay? More than you do, apparently. Okay? But that's what's happening here. You're not really that. You just go on a Sunday once in a blue moon. But why would you? Again, the only explanation is that she wants to reap the benefits of the audience that the Mormons have, because it's numerous. And if she says she's Mormon, they'll watch her because that's guilt-free for them, right? Mormons only want it, like, and their leaders will tell you, we don't want you in the world. We don't want you doing secular music. We only want you to listen to these bands because they're Mormon, or these influencers are Mormon, so follow them. They like prop them up. This content is Mormon. If you claim to be Mormon content, you will gather a large following. Okay? I almost want to do a social experiment, and I don't even want to say it, but maybe I will someday. Like, just find somebody who wants to be an influencer or a married couple who aren't Mormon. Okay? But pretend that they are and create a channel and see what happens with their growth. Honestly, if you're out there and you're having a hard time being an influencer couple or whatever, and you're not growing, just say you're Mormon. See what happens. Just start pretending to go to church and take in on the principles of Mormonism. See what happens.
Like still a good girl too for like 6 years of my marriage. Like, I didn't drink, I didn't do anything crazy. Like, I was very I feel like a good wife and partner.
You weren't. You were doing literal labia dances in front of your child.
And I felt like also I did have a wild side. So when that opened, I was like, let's go. Like, you know, like it was just like almost like.
You felt like it was almost Pandora's box.
Yes. Yes. I don't know if that's good to admit, but yeah, like it just felt like.
Okay, so they just keep it. 2011. It's coming up. Oh, it's coming right up.
I don't know. I've been so good. It felt freeing. I don't know. Is that the right word?
Yeah, freeing from religion, I guess. Yeah.
Let's talk about your arrest. Because I feel like.
Wait, before we get to the arrest, why did your marriage end?
Yeah, I think the affair. But
this guy just wants to get to the dirt, and that's what I want to get to.
I think more than all, we were obviously, I think, struggling already. And it was done before it was done, and so I think we kind of came to the conclusion of like it's best.
So your marriage was done, so you started swinging because it was done. Why don't you just divorce? Like, if you're gonna go out and cheat, just leave your spouse. There's literally no reason. Like, you're just gonna destroy so many people, and your kids are gonna hate you and everything else. Just leave your marriage. If you can no longer be in with a marriage, and I just. It sucks to say it because I don't think it's a good enough excuse to leave a marriage, because I've been married for close to 16, 17 years. And like, everybody knows you've been married that long. There's been ups and downs. There's been times that you're just like, what the heck? And again, my wife and I are each other's only partners in life ever. And so like, but I'll never be a person that's like, throw it all away for literally 2 minutes of glory. It's never going to happen. That's, to me, I think about it that way. Maybe just because maybe I'm not overtly crazy. Again, I'm a vanilla dude. I'm not really, I don't know how to explain it. I'm not like out there wagging my tongue at every level. I'm just not that kind of, I'd rather cut my grass. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all I have to say is that these people, like, just, it's always the end. It's like, it ruins everything instead when you could just make an adult choice and be like, look, it's over. I want to do other things. It sucks at the time, but at least you're being honest with yourself and them. And that's crazy. Instead, they want to be assholes because inherently they're narcissistic assholes. That's the problem.
That we part ways. You know, we said we'll give it the summer and see where things go. But I think we kind of knew deep down that it's like done.
Was that after the affair came out? Or before?
Well, before for me. I asked for separation, I think, twice before.
Okay.
So I was like at least trying to get clarity of like.
Can we have a separation? No. Okay, let's swing. Sounds good.
Do I want this? Do I need?
Maybe he thought it was saving the marriage.
Like I needed like some space to think about everything, and then I think everything escalated so fast. And I think the night of everything. That story I haven't really told either. I don't know if you want me to tell, but like basically, one of the husbands came up to me in the group and came.
One of the husbands
came and told me he had feelings for me at the gym, and so nothing was like over text or anything. So I didn't like have any proof. But I came home and told my husband, I was like, your best friend just told me he had feelings for me. So I just want to let you know. In my head,
fight time.
I'm like, okay, we're messing with fire. Like he's like, okay, yeah, we opened those doors. Like I'm not happy he told you that because he was expecting something in return. So like I feel like he went behind my back, but also we put ourselves in the situation. Like
yeah. You did.
He kind of knew. And me in my head already know what was going on. Like I had feelings for this other man. So it was like really messy. So the wife, it gets out that he tells me that because I tell the wife of this other couple. She goes and tells people, it gets out.
So she looks like she wants to start drama. That's what it looks like.
So you told your ex-husband, then you also told a friend of yours.
Yeah, the friend group, kind of. And then, yeah, I did tell the friend group. And then the wifey over here calls and says, hey, I heard this, like, you have something to tell me. I'm just curious what it was, and this is my best friend. So I'm like, I knew the second, because I debated to tell her. I'm like, okay, if I tell her, I lose my best friend forever, but I don't have feelings for him, so I feel like I don't know what to do. But if I don't tell her, I'm a bad friend. So, like, I'm sitting in the middle here. I go not telling her, and then she's like, do you have something to tell me? I heard this, and so I, like, deny. Her husband's calling me on the other phone. Deny. Like, oh, wow. And I'm like, I think we should just come clean. Like, we've all messed up. Let's come clean. Like, this is really heavy. Like, I can't do this. Like, I'm, like...
I am the good person here. Let's come clean. You're the one who started this whole thing.
I mean, panic attacks.
And at this point...
You're the problem. It's you.
There's another man that you've been hooking up with outside of the...
I mean, I kissed him. Yeah, like, I wasn't, like, sleeping with him.
Okay.
Oh, you just kissed him? Okay, that's fine then. No problem.
She said it was an emotional.
Okay.
Yeah, but then I did sleep with him the one night.
Okay.
Like, I just kissed him. And then it was kissing, right? And then, but you then had emotional... Yeah. And then I did sleep with him. Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah. Which one was it?
So there was another... Okay.
Yeah. So the husband's calling me, deny. And I'm, like, feeling like shit, because I'm like, this is a shitty person. I'm a shitty person right now. And I tell my husband, and he's like, I think you just need to tell her. Like, I ended up denying it, and she's like, just come over to my house. We all go to their house that night. I get there, and I'm taking
I like those boots.
shots, because I'm miserable. Like, I'm a horrible person. I, like, black out, I think, within the first 10 minutes there. And then I call my friend, or I was in the
Just blackout drunk all the time.
Corner.
That's safe.
and the husband of...
Where are your kids during all this?
Who I was having the affair with comes in the corner. And then the other husband that gets jealous comes and he's like, they're like talking really weird in the corner back there. Like something's going on. So my husband comes over. He's like, what's going on? Like, so this is like where it's like blowing up. I'm like, I just gotta go. So I call a friend to come pick me up. I go to my friend's house. I'm at my friend's house. You have the guy that I'm having the affair with calling me. Can I come pick you up? You have the other husband. Can I come pick you up? My husband, where are you? Like everyone's calling me. I'm belligerent. Like I'm like drunk, but I'm like still like, I think I ignore everyone. But I told him where I am. And then the guy I was having an affair with was like, can I come pick you up? And his wife sends him to come pick me up.
Did she know?
About the, no, but they wanted me to come spend the night with them. Like, you see, it's just weird. Like, the whole thing's weird.
You think?
And so...
It's out of control.
Yes. And so the guy I had an affair with comes over, I hook up with him at the house. And then...
Why, his wife's there?
That
night. And I don't remember much of it. And I won't say, like, I don't want to call it anything, but I just don't remember much of it. I was pretty...
That's...
blacked out.
Wow. Whoa.
And I never...
But she's saying something even though she tries not to say something. She's, again, laying the blame elsewhere. I'm blacked out drunk. I don't want to say anything, but I don't remember anything. But you remember you slept with him.
Claimed anything. I know people are like, well, you like sexual assault. And I'm like, no, like I full on believe that I wanted that. So I like never claimed that. So, but I cannot say like what had happened in that room. I do know I slept with him. I woke up very messed up down there. And so that was really, really bad. Like,
isn't this the life that some of you love to have? Isn't this so nice? Imagine getting on the internet and having children and saying this phrase. When I woke up, I was messed up down there because I was cheating on my husband and I was going out blacked out drunk. This is the legacy she's leaving for her children. No, nobody talks about that. Legacy all these people are leaving for their children. They're making their kids famous, first of all, by exploiting them on the internet. Okay, these kids are going to grow up someday. These shows and these interviews are going to be out there forever. When your kid gets to school and their friends find this stuff and the teachers find this stuff, like, what are you trying to do to your kid, man? You're setting your children up for failure. I don't care if it's their fault or not. It's not their fault, obviously. They're victims. But these people don't care about anybody but themselves, and this is always the proof that you need. Just watch them give an interview about all the dirtiest, disgusting deeds. She probably got paid to be on the show. Okay, she's clearly paid to be on Hulu. She's paid to be a social media influencer. These people have no shame, and they'll sell it, like, for $1 to anybody without any like consideration for their children whatsoever at all. Damn, these people piss me off.
That's so hard. Sorry. Like,
no, that must be really hard. I mean, was he also drunk or was he sober?
I don't know. I can't say. I don't know.
She's saying it out loud, what she's trying to say. And that guy who did it, he should be scared because no matter what she says, she has that in her back pocket. She literally has that in her back pocket.
Okay.
But yeah, my husband came and picked me up. I denied like everything that night, and he's like, I actually didn't even ask me. He took me home and he like took care of me. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Don't cry. You don't get to. Okay, shut up.
And then
take a deep breath. Okay.
I want to cry. Sorry.
Here's a tissue right now.
I'm gonna cry for the mistakes I made. I messed up my whole life. I'm gonna cry. Shut up.
He came and he asked me, he's like, did you do anything last night with him? And I was like, no. And, of course...
I mean, who cares? You guys are already literally cheating with each other. Like, yeah, I did. We're swingers, man. That's what we do. Why would you lie about it?
So the husband's like, deny. The other husband's like, deny. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, okay, like, I'm like so lost. And I ended up coming clean that day. That I did. And they're like, he came clean. So I'm like, yeah, we did. Like, I just wanted to come clean. And it was like the worst day because I hurt him.
You already wanted a divorce, though.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, still, I don't think I'm like healed from that yet.
Oh, you haven't healed from it? Oh, you haven't healed from cheating on your husband yet? You should heal. You should forgive yourself. Oh my gosh. Listen to these people, guys. Listen to this woman. Listen to her. Now, her husband is not guilt-free either. He's a total douchebag too, by the way.
Just like, that's so shitty to do to someone. Oh, and lying about it.
Do you feel like you were lying to protect your marriage or to protect the guy you were having the affair with, or to protect your best friend?
I think to not admit anything. I just think I was like hiding it because I'm like, at that point I knew if I say something, everything blows up. Like, this is done. Like, my life's like, with my life with this is over with my husband. You know, so I figured like, yeah, he's gonna, you know, leave me, which is fine. I guess this way is what's shitty, you know?
It's just fine, I guess. You know, it is what it is.
Right.
And yes, my friend. And so everything blew up that day. He found out, you know, he's freaking out. And it was very unexpected, I think, for him. Like, because I think he might have gauged it maybe with the other husband, but not this one. So I think it blind was like, whoa.
Okay, I don't really care about this stuff. We already know about all this stuff. So Dakota 4219, we'll take a look at it.
Like, how?
I'm like surviving at this point, hating my life, insecure, feeling guilty, feeling shitty. And I meet this great guy. I really like him. Like, I click with him instantly. And I'm like, okay, like.
And then we break up 14 times.
This is my guardian angel. Like, he's just nice. Like, he's just listening. He's been in a very dark place. He's a recovering addict. So he's like been in dark places. So he just wants to like help me and like be there.
So if this guy's a recovering addict and you're not, like, again, this guy is, you have to think about this for a second when she's admitting. He is a recovering addict and yet she's still living the party life to the point where she gets arrested, which we're going to talk about in a second here. Like, he's a recovering addict. Why are you going to be around somebody who is not in the same walk of life as you? What the hell's wrong with you?
For me. But then
I gotta assume him being a recovering addict created a safe space for you in a way that made you feel less judged. You know, I'm guessing he was too busy judging himself and trying to heal that.
This guy low-key throwing tons of shame at her, and she deserves it.
He probably created a very unjudgmental atmosphere for you, which made you feel safe.
Yes, and he opened up about a lot of things, which are his story to tell. So yes, it made me feel very comfortable, and I felt good and safe, and this just...
Think of the selfishness of that she's admitting to. Think of the absolute narcissistic selfishness. This guy's going through so many problems, and because I'm a trash piece of human filth, like, I needed somebody who wasn't going to judge me. And so he's already going through his problems, and so that was awesome for me because he didn't judge me.
This guy, like, I'm like, great.
Okay.
I'm taking me out of this hellhole, you know? And yeah, so we start to date, and I'm like, okay, one thing I want is just honesty and a fresh start. That's what I want.
Shut up. Okay, I'm going to go to the arrest because that's the most important part. This is the part that pisses me off the most.
Piece of you that can relate to Dakota not choosing you that night because you didn't choose your husband.
Right, it's my karma. Absolutely. I feel like God is like, this is like your punishment for what you did to your spouse. You're gonna feel what you did. So yes, I have like sat in that and been like, I deserve this pain. I still to this day, I'm like, every pain I feel like you deserve it. Like in my head, I'm like, good.
You do deserve it. You're a piece of shit.
At some point, you're gonna have to
let it go.
Yeah.
I know. And
I know I should, right? I forgive myself for cheating.
Progress with him because I'm stuck. I'm stuck in 2022. Like,
you're only hurting yourself at this point.
I know. I'm torturing myself and him.
Well, let's get into that in a moment. But let's talk about the arrest.
The show
This is all this guy wants to talk about, and I'm here for it. That's all he wants to talk about.
Kind of glosses over it, and I can't imagine how hard this is to relive.
The show glosses over it, does it? That's great. Wonder why. Again, because if a dude did what she did, there'd be no glossing over it. He'd be canceled. He'd be off the show. He'd be kicked off. There's just the double standards of this world piss me off so badly. Okay? Because a dude throws a chair at a kid, he's canceled. He's in jail, first of all. Probably prison for a long time. And should be. Okay? But it's this Mormon girl who's, I was just drunk. Oh, no problem. Forgive yourself, queen.
I imagine this was a very dark night and something you don't want to think about or talk about often, and I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But I guess I remember seeing it online, and...
I know you don't want to talk about this, but let's talk about it.
Yeah, I would like to know how it got to the point it did. Like, walk us through that night.
Yeah. I feel like it was a build-up, so not just that night. This is post. I had an ectopic a few months prior.
Wow.
And then I had a chemical pregnancy. So obviously don't want to blame hormones, but I will put that into account. Like
I don't want to blame drinking and hormones, but that's what it was.
I'm pretty like, wow.
It wasn't me. It was the hormones.
What's a chemical pregnancy?
It's where you lose it so early that like you don't even notice, like most of the time.
But your body is kind of operating as if you're pregnant.
Yes, like you get pregnancy tests and then it just goes, you're not anymore. So I knew because I had taken one and I was and I wasn't. So you probably just lost really early. So I was like, okay. And so I think hormones are whack at this point. I'm feeling crazy. I'm feeling lost. I don't know what to do.
What's this guy on the left supposed to be doing?
I'm angry. I'm very angry. That's the one emotion I feel. Like,
I think he's taking notes.
Which I'm learning in therapy right now is like really good to an extent. Right? Not to that point of that night, but like I was finally feeling like emotion. And I feel like that's a step is like anger. And then I end up like drinking that night again. Feeling very lost. I hadn't drank really lately in that time, but I was feeling so low that I went and drank that night and had a girls' night. Dakota picks me up. He is angry that I drank and I'm like feeling shitty. I'm crying the whole way home with like, I hate my life. Like, I'm like saying sorry, like I'm so sorry to my family.
I hate when people cry when they are literally the bane of their own existence, when they are to blame for everything in the situation. You brought this on yourself. You're the one who drank. You're the one who's being selfish. You're you. And then like, and maybe you don't get it. No, you don't get it. That's not your pass. You are your worst enemy. You don't get to cry. Shut up.
I'm like hysterically sad. I'm crying, I think because the alcohol had taken down that guard. Like, I could finally feel. And so, it was so sad, and I was so sad. And then I get home, and I think about, like, what Dakota had, like, put on that. And, like, it's not his fault, but, like, I'm, like, wanting to cling to something to, like, blame him. Like, I hate you. Like, I'm so angry. And, you know, projecting on him, and I'm, like, throwing things, and, like, I remember, like, throwing things, and I don't know my daughter's on the couch. Like, I had no idea. Like, we had babysitters there. So I think they're upstairs sleeping.
Why would babysitters be there when Dakota's there? She's lying to you.
And so, like, I just, like, started throwing things. I'm, like, so mad.
You didn't... So let me get this straight. And she's trying to be, like, she gets to cry because she wants to cover it up. And this is where people will be like, oh, it's okay. Shut up. No. You don't get to do it. But let me get this straight. Your daughter's sitting there and you don't know that your daughter's on the couch while you're throwing things? Is Dakota not saying, hey, stop throwing things. Your daughter's here. That didn't come up? What? No, you don't get to, like, again, what she's doing right now is just bullshit. She's weaponizing her tears, and it's bullshit.
Oh, chair, and Dakota's like, hey, like, and he's like, here. And I'm like, so gone that I don't care, like, and they throw another chair, and like...
I'm so gone. She's not even crying. She's just faking it, and she's like, I'm so gone, I don't care. She could have literally really injured her daughter.
We don't know if it hit her or not, but, like, it sounded like it did, so...
What? You're wiping away no tears and you're fake crying. We don't know if it hit her or not. It hit her. Yeah. Why would you lie? Why come clean about everything else? About the cheating, about everything. But we don't, but she was there, but I don't know if it hit her. Clearly it did. You got arrested for it. What do you mean? You're saying now after knowing the fact that it did hit her that you don't know if it hit her? And why are you saying we? You're the one throwing the chair.
Police report, it does say, like, it hit her, but... in reality, like, we didn't know if it hit. It might have not have hit her at all. Like,
okay, so the police report's like, oh, maybe. What?
Have any noticeable injuries?
No, nothing was there. Like, my mom took her that night. They inspected her. Everything was good.
But was she crying?
I think she was crying.
Obviously, your mom's having a friggin' tantrum throwing chairs around the house.
She saw me crying. Like, yeah.
No, she didn't cry because she saw you crying. She's crying because you're throwing objects and chairs at her. Are you kidding? Like, again, the trauma that these kids have already gone through because of her absolute bullshittedness. And, like, again, swinging at their house, in the living room while the kids are upstairs, all this kind of stuff. It's all coming out later, too. So, you not only have you traumatized your child already, but you're going to further traumatize them as they get older and they get exposed to all this. Just so you're aware. This woman is the most selfish, disgusting person I've ever covered, next to Mike Christopher.
When I got arrested, I was like... He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I'm hurting inside. Like, I can't do it.
It's me. I'm hurting. But you just almost hurt your daughter. Or did, actually. I think you did. I think you're lying. But it's still about her, right? It's me. I'm hurting. So forget that I just threw a chair at my daughter. I'm hurting inside. Hear the words that are coming out of her mouth. Okay? She doesn't even... You know what? If she was a person that took accountability, who loved her kids, she would sit on this podcast and be publicly, you know what? I apologize to my kid for being that way. I was wrong for what I did, and it was just selfishness. And I'm an idiot for getting drunk and doing all those things. I shouldn't have done it. Except, no, what she does is she casts blame and doubt and everything else and cries over it. And it's like, but I was hurting. That's what you're hearing. Somebody who literally could have killed their child, they're hurting. Who cares about the kid? That's why this woman should be nowhere near children. That's crazy.
Do it. And so So I was like really in the inside. I couldn't cope. And then my daughter's in the window watching me, and I don't care. I'm just so hurt. Ugh.
These people doing these interviews, they want this dirt, and they're loving this because it's going to give them views. But let me snuggle you. I don't like it. I know Taylor Frankie's sitting here giving away everything, and she's fake crying, and she's like, this is the most important part of what she has done, and the reason why she shouldn't have a show, and she shouldn't be on the internet, she should be in jail. But she gets to be here while people go, it's okay that you almost killed your daughter. Oh, it's okay. No. That's bullshit.
I'm sorry.
No, you can't laugh at me.
Should be sorry. Say sorry to your daughter.
I don't care. I'm like so careless. I didn't care. And that's what like hurts is like I
She's not even crying.
didn't think about her, you know, that night. And I ended up getting arrested. I went to jail, and I'm sitting in there like hungover. Sorry, I'm trying to tell the story for you guys. Thank you. Oh, that's a hard one to tell. I'm like, yeah, just sitting in the cell and hating my life, of course. And to make matters worse, and I know this is like funny to people like outside, but I was dressed as a man because I was dressed as my ex. Like that was the party. What the theme was like, you're dressed as your ex. So yeah, I have facial hair on at this point.
Your mugshot?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, I think I cried it off, but
Oh boy.
I'm dressed as a man that night, and it's so bad. So I go to
This, I need you guys to hear this again. So she's like, I know this doesn't, but of all the things that she's talking about, the thing that she's like most upset about was that she was dressed as a man for Halloween, and that's what's gonna get out there, and that's her mugshot. Like, are you hearing this? Come on, guys, you got to be hearing this with me. That seems to be all she cares about. That she was hurting, that the mugshot was gonna be weird. Like, what about apologizing to your daughter? I was the shittiest mom ever in that moment. What about taking a little bit of accountability? Nothing. She is not taking accountability, and all she cares about is the perception of it. That's who she is, everybody, and that's who you made famous.
the cell dressed as my ex, and
Was your ex involved in the situation? Or was it just you and Dakota? Because it seemed unclear.
oh yeah, just Dakota. Like yeah, with all this, nothing to do
It
with
had
him.
nothing to do with your ex.
No, he was like shocked because I feel like I'm a very calm person. Like
Yeah, sure, you're a calm person. Your ex should have had custody at that moment, and you should have lost custody. And I cannot believe he didn't fight for more custody. I cannot believe he's still a coward and lets you put your kids on the internet and use them. That's a coward asshole, that is.
I never yelled or did anything in my marriage. So when he heard this, he was like, "What is going on?" You know. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm sure he just said, "What's going on? It sounds weird that you hit our child with a chair. What's going on? Are you okay?"
I go to jail, and then I was filmed leaving the jail. Like I don't know who filmed me, and it hit the internet that day.
What was jail like?
Cold, very cold and depressing. They let everyone go. Like we were in this like holding area, like all together. I don't know what that's called.
Holding cell. Dumbass.
But this like holding area, I was obviously like I couldn't grasp why how did I get here? It was in my thoughts. I was feeling guilty obviously for everything I've done, and you know my life was like going through my like head, and I knew as I got out, like if I get out, like I need to like wake up, like clean up my life. And so yeah, cold. And
So here's how she cleans up her life. She gets to come out and monetize all of this and celebrate it and get celebrated for it and make money on it. That's how she cleans up her life. By spilling the tea. That's it. That's all she has. She has nothing to offer this world except for dirty, disgusting deeds. That's it. She's selling her dirty deeds for money. That's how she cleans up her life. Instead of, getting off the internet and going to live a normal life away from the cameras, away from social media, because it's done nothing but ruin everything about you, your marriage, your daughter, your kids, your relationships. It has been nothing but bad for you. But you can't escape it because you are addicted to it. You're a loser.
when I went in the cell, like they kept me and they put me in the cell, and I'm like really freaking out at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I am in so much trouble. I go in a cell, I'm like asking the girl like, hey, do we stay in here long? Like I don't know anything. I was like
you're in a cell with other people, just like you
girl.
see in the movies.
Yes. So me and another woman. And I'm like, what are you in here for? Because I was like, I could get beat up.
Murder.
Like I thought I was gonna get beat up because
I'm in here for beating up people.
in the movies you see it sometimes, So I was like asking her, what are you in here for? And she was like, yeah, the cop accused me of trying to run him over. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much trouble. Like I'm being put in here. And then she was like, you're gonna be okay. And she's like, what did you do? And she's like trying to help me and soothe me.
I threw a chair at my daughter.
She's a mom, and she could tell I was like so scared. Anyways, I was in there for a little bit and they let me out, but it was just scary.
Did you tell her what you did?
Because I thought I was gonna stay in there for a long time. Like I thought
You should have been put in prison.
Yep.
I know you were drunk. Do you remember that night vividly at all? Or
Yeah.
Oh, she does. Okay.
Yeah, you do.
That one I was not. Like, Villager, I was pretty far gone, but, like, I do remember being so angry.
Because I remember seeing
But you don't remember seeing your kid there? Okay.
and I think they show a little bit of
Footage.
body cam footage, and you were
Yeah, we covered it. Go watch it.
saying you were in the garage and you were scared, and Dakota was like coming at you, so you were throwing things to keep him away.
Yeah, I think he was trying to, like, defend himself and also, calm himself, that it wasn't, like, I was the aggressor for sure, and I think, I can't say it, but there's not much he can do without, like, he's, as a man, he's scared to do anything, so it's, like, kind of hard for him.
So the kind of
And she knows that, too. That's crazy.
nice one. The accusations you throw his way that the people are going to see watching the show, you don't stand by.
No, everything was dropped besides the assault, which obviously I did, like, throw things at him. I did, scratch him and, was, like, going at him. So that is all, true.
Okay.
But everything else
And your kid, too. Don't forget that part.
was dropped.
So obviously, with your children being involved, or your child, there's just a lot of sensitivity about this issue, and then obviously it comes with a lot of critics. For the people who follow the story, who are going to watch the show, obviously difficult question, but for the people who do question you as a mother and question the environment that your kids are in, what would you say to them at this point?
It was a really big learning lesson. I feel like this might
As a learning lesson.
sound awful, but I feel like that night also came up good because I really got, like, help that I needed. So, like, I instantly got in classes, therapy, like, EMDR. Like, it was, like, a very wake-up call that I needed.
It was a very wake-up call. She's such a liar. She's lying to you guys. It's not a wake-up call because post-breakup from this, she broke up with this guy, like, 10 times and then had a kid with him. And then, again, sold her story for cash. If you're ashamed of something, you don't share it with the rest of the world for money. Sorry!
wasn't doing. So I feel like it was my rock bottom to hit. To, like, finally wake up and go get help that I needed.
You have not hit your rock bottom yet. I promise you that.
Also, to take in my kids' consideration, because I feel like when you're, like, in a really low place, like, I was fine with my ex taking them. Like, I feel like
Does she have a price tag on the bottom of her shoes?
I couldn't be a good mom. So I was like, yes, like, if you're, like, good, like, I feel like I was, like, okay with them being gone a lot. Which now, like, I hate when they're gone. Like, I'll take any chance I get. So I feel like you can just tell the difference of, like, healing. At that point, I feel like when I got all those things I needed, it helped me. And as a mom, I feel like, I'm sure maybe not to that extent, but moms can relate. Of being so low, you cannot, like, be a fool. You can't be...
No, moms can't relate to throwing chairs at their kids. And if you can, you should be in jail too.
Like, your best self for your kids, you know? And I feel like I'm grateful for that night. So
Are you grateful you threw chairs at your kid? That's cool.
it woke me up to be better for
It's a
them.
weird thing to say.
If that makes sense. And I don't know if
It
that's
doesn't. It doesn't make sense.
the right thing to say.
You're
but
stupid.
I feel like, in a way, it helped me to be better. Because it woke me up of being, like, I was in this, like, still, like, not being, like, a bad mom, but not being, like, the best mom I could be. I was, like,
You're a terrible mom. You've always been a terrible mom. Are you serious right now? Go look at her TikToks.
so lost, you know?
Yeah.
And so I feel like that night was, like, oh my gosh, like, wake up. You need to be better. Like, get up and do something. And so I felt like, yes, I hold a lot of that
So I
guilt
got up and got pregnant.
and that stuff, but I'm, like, done having the pity party, too. It's, like, just wake up and be better. And try harder, at least. You know,
Yeah.
you can.
I mean, that makes sense after watching the show.
Okay, anyway, let's go to the show. So he talks about the show, 1 hour and 29.
In counseling, like, we're in couples therapy as well. And that's amazing. And it's really cool because they just help you to learn the tools that you need to communicate.
When did some of the other women who are part of the cast, who, if anyone, reached out, or how did you get back in with that group?
Whitney is the one who
Whitney.
reached out.
Oh, Whitney. Whitney's is so gross. Oh, and you guys hear the story of Whitney too. Like, her husband's cheating on her. He's on Tinder. He's like, again, the dance. I didn't even know that was Whitney. I just was the person that I completely judged on the internet, and everybody else did because it went super viral. Whitney is disgusting. Okay, okay. The only thing she hasn't done again is throwing chairs at her kids, so she's not as bad as Taylor Frankie Paul, but is disgusting and fake.
Yep.
I didn't expect that answer.
No. She called me when she heard the other side of the story from other people, the girls. And she was like, something about that story is really not fit. Like, it's something is sus. And she was like, I want to hear your side. And so I was like, okay, I'll tell you everything. So she came over and I told them everything that happened. And they're like, yeah, you did a shitty thing, but, like, we're getting told a whole bunch of lies over here. Like, and so they were just like, yeah, we're gonna.
So, okay, let me get this straight. So we're getting told lies. How do you know that she's not lying?
You were everyone's scapegoat?
Yeah, I feel like they all just eventually became my friend again. Like, they first, judged the situation, was like, okay, right or not right, as anyone would.
Sure.
Well, we need to get back on TikTok and grow our following again. That's what we need.
They eventually came over, and a lot of them were friends with me still, and then it kind of split up MANOTIK, because it was like, if you're friends with Taylor, then we're staying on this side. So it kind of was like this major divide.
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like you didn't have any friends.
MANOTIK isn't just all the women we've gotten to know.
There was like 20 of us, maybe about 20 of us.
Wow.
There's a lot of us.
And
So
we're
everyone's
all-
scattered.
Because she made all the money.
Were all the people in the original swinger groups part of Mom Talk in some way?
No, one was from.
Just one. Your best friend.
Yep.
Okay.
You started Mom Talk, right?
Yeah, like our group. Yes.
Does Whitney agree?
I don't know. Well, honestly, but it's true. Like I started it.
How did you start it?
I mean, it's not really that deep. Like I just was starting mom like content. Invited a couple moms over. I was like, let's make some TikToks. They
That's so silly. What? What?
ended up blowing up. So we're like, okay, cool. This is like, and then more and more and more just kept coming.
Okay.
And then she eventually made her way in the group.
Whitney.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if she liked us or not, but she continued, and it's more like this.
Whitney doesn't have any friends. I promise you that much. Okay, Whitney is the villain in this story. So is she. She's a villain too. She's like, but like, is the aloof villain. Taylor Frankie Paul is. Whitney is the villain who knows she's the villain, wants to be the villain, works on her villainy, and is loving the villainous part of her life. She is a villain. She is the, oh my gosh, she is the one from Mean Girls. She's Regina George. She's, the deep dive I would love to do on Whitney. Somebody out there who knows everything about her, you let me know. I will get on a call with you. I want to know every single detail. And I want to put a video out about it.
This too, though. Like we do this for a living.
So Whitney brought you back into the group.
Mm-hmm.
Were you like filming a pilot before you got arrested? Like
Yes.
it was. So like you guys were just
Really?
kind of.
It was like
let's
a-
just shoot something, see if we have anything.
Yep.
It
Wow.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a actual show at that point.
No, nope. They did a full episode, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe full, maybe not even. But yeah. And then I think we were waiting on a green light. So and then
And really? So they didn't know if they're going to get the green light. So what does she do? She does something crazy, like gets arrested and throws chairs and stuff. Is that planned? Did she have to do something crazy so they get green lit for the show next to the Mormon swinging? Because that's a big deal. If she had to like go out there and was encouraged to do something crazy, and she did that for the show, that's so much worse.
in the midst of that, that's when the arrest happened.
Who invited you back?
On the show,
Yeah.
producers, like I was like getting like phone calls, management, and like, well, we might invite you. Like I think I was coming in as
She says management. I think she's pointing to her managers in the room, who's probably telling her to like, don't say shit.
a friend character, like
Friend of show.
yes. And so I'm like, no, like I was like, I don't want to be in the middle of like not knowing and knowing, because I was like, my life's been on kind of hold for this. Like, I think I might, I had plans of doing other stuff, and so I'm like, I either want to know if I'm in this or not, and so I think they like, it took more time, and they're like, okay, yes, you're in, we'll cast.
Did you feel like that was a decision that the producers had to make, and then subsequently also the women? Like, was there almost like...
Yeah, I don't care about that. Let's go to the Mom Talking Whitney, 11452.
And I think it's fear for me. It's fear of like, I guess I'm learning this in therapy, but I'm very still right now. Like I don't want to progress. I don't want to move because I'm very safe here, like in where my spot is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I surrender fully, then it's more like I could get hurt. If I find anything else out, if something happens, I get really hurt. But I'm learning it's just more of like safety, and I'm like just scared, I guess.
A lot of the women talk about what Mom Talk means to them, it's some sort of like bigger thing.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? Or is it just
Money. It means money and fame. That's it. Stop asking dumb questions.
something you guys get to do for a job, for fun?
Yeah.
Or is it, or do you want it to have a deeper meaning? Like, you don't seem...
How can it... sorry. I'm sure you're a great guy, Nick. What deeper meaning you're going to get from Mom Talk? Deeper meaning? What? Like, what kind of question is this? These people are so vapid and surface level garbage. There's nothing deeper from this. But I can't wait to hear what she says.
Mom Talk is a statement, or it's some sort of way to express themselves, to rebel against the church.
Yeah.
But is that what it is for you?
No, I feel like for me it's all for fun, and I feel like for us moms, like we all had something in common. You're with kids all day, so I feel like to go out and like have fun with your friends and make content, something you do, it was fun. And so I feel like that's why I started it. And then it did become about more business, because yes, it was blowing up, and we do this for a job, right? We do like obviously TikTok, so it was like, come in, let's make content, and then let's go home, honestly, like. But I feel like during the filming and even before, like the friendships, the ones I had, I lost so fast. So it was like, I'm kind of terrified of friendships too, like being super close with girls, because
Terrified of friendships because I'm a loser and everybody hates me.
like I just learned that it gets messy fast, and so like I've
Of course it gets messy fast. You're sleeping with their husbands.
been there with them and getting close with them, but also very hesitant and like afraid of like, I guess, surrendering to friends as well. Like I think I'm just in a fearful spot.
Which of the ladies are you closest with at this point?
I would say Macy I'm pretty close with, but I feel like during filming I got really close with Jessie and Demi. All of them really in different ways, but I love Jessie. She's a little go-getter, and I feel like I relate with her a lot on things, and she has her own story to tell, and we related a lot.
What stories do these women have to tell? What are your stories? I got married at a college at BYU, and that's it. That's my story. I've been to Disney a bunch of times. The end. Story to tell.
And then Demi also, in a way. And
I enjoyed them both.
I don't know how much they show of like the storylines and theirs, but they have such good stories too. But.
Okay. And then where do you guys stand with Whitney?
Whitney, I love Whitney, but you know.
No, you don't. You hate Whitney. Everybody hates Whitney.
She's a.
Bitch is the word you're looking for.
She changes her mind every day, you know. I think she
Is
really.
she the Regina George she seems like?
Yes! Yes! Regina George!
Like, she gives Regina George watching.
Does she?
Just watching it. Yeah, I mean, again, it's reality TV, so who knows? you know her. We don't know her. We just watched her.
Well, I know she had some really not nice things to say about me, and I don't know how much they go into that.
Because you're a bitch. So is she.
But I was shocked. I was like, I had no idea you felt this so strongly about me. Like,
She seems like she fucking hates you.
oh, okay, yeah. So,
This guy's... she seems like she effing hates you. She does hate her. They hate each other because she took the attention, and Whitney is the person who has to be the center of attention. She has to be Regina George. She's Regina George. She has to be the center, but she's the ugliest one of all of them. That's just the reality of it. And she doesn't... Taylor comes along, gets all the attention because she's the star. Whitney doesn't like it. That's who Whitney is in real life. Whitney doesn't have any real friends. Her own mom probably hates her.
there was like this built up resentment, and I'm like, I didn't even know. And then I apologized because I didn't know. And there might have been some selfish moments I did because when she was telling us her heavy stuff, I was talking about mine. And like, I can relate. I was not a good friend.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I definitely, sure, you were self-centered. You definitely stole the spotlight. Yes, that's like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment, I thought I was a little taken back by Whitney. Here she is talking about this very difficult situation with
I can't wait to watch this show now and like rip Whitney a new butthole.
her husband.
Yeah.
And the response from the women, more I guess than anything, was like, it seemed odd that she wanted to keep the spotlight on her unfaithful husband.
But maybe not the spotlight. Maybe it's her feelings. You want to feel like...
No, I get it. No, I understand.
He's like, no. You don't let her... No.
But
He hates Whitney, and I think everybody does too.
it seemed like a weird... I almost feel like if I had to come in and tell my friends about like something, you know, my family member did, or I felt really hurt and I felt really embarrassed and wrong, and then I tell them the story and they don't come across as that judgmental or critical, and then someone else is like, hey, I got some shit to deal with, I almost would feel glad that they're not like... Because in a lot of those situations, a lot of the women could have been like...
Can you imagine being married to Whitney? Guy should have just left her, right? He shouldn't have cheated on her, obviously. But, like, ew.
I mean, shit, the way they talked to fucking Jen about... What's his name?
Zach. Yeah.
It could have been that, you know? It was almost as if, like, Whitney wanted the attention so bad it didn't even matter how she got the attention.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was accurate or not. It's like, you shouldn't have opened your mouth, but... I don't know. I didn't feel like... It seemed like a weird hill for her to die on.
It wasn't my intention, though, to be like, this is what happened to me. I guess
Yes, it was.
I'm trying to relate, like...
We're all going through stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I didn't fall...
Taylor Frankie Paul is that type of person, though. She's just acting right now. Like, they're all throwing Whitney under the bus. Look, I know, I don't want to be bad. She's, like, happy that they're throwing someone else under the bus right now when it's, like, she's trash, too. But she's like... But she wants to come across like she's, like, better. Right? But she agrees with everything they're saying. But she doesn't want to say it.
Feel that much. I honestly thought it was bizarre that Whitney was so mad at you.
I mean, I think it was built up resentment. I was like, it must be. And then there was like a whole nother day, I think that's not even in the show, like, oh, she went hard on me. And I was like, whoa.
I mean, Whitney's...
And again, the reality television show wants this. They literally want the butting heads. They want the fighting. They want it to happen. They're going to push that. They're going to do that. And that's what's going to sell. And then again, they get celebrated for this bullshit.
So calculated, and I don't fault... I've been accused of being calculated. I don't even think being a calculated person means you're a bad person. That being said...
I think...
That being said,
depends how you
knowing
use it,
that
yeah.
Whitney reached out to invite you in the group, is there a world where you think Whitney invited you in to make sure that you were the villain?
Maybe, and I think she thought, yeah, I'd definitely be the villain. I think it was like...
She is also the villain, though. They're both villains. If it's between light and dark, they're both dark.
I don't think anyone had any speculation that Whitney was going to be the villain. And I think Whitney thought I would be the villain. And everyone else, honestly, I don't
It
know.
sure looked like Whitney thought you were going to be the villain. And planned on you being the villain.
Yes.
She is the villain! They're both villains!
Yes, I think that's what it was she was wanting me to look like. And honestly, I was at the point where I'm like, I'm exhausted of being the villain. Like, I'm sorry. For whatever I did, I'm sorry. Like, that was my...
No, you don't get to be like, for whatever I did. What do you mean? You throwing the chair at your daughter? So whatever you did? Okay.
goal. Like, I'm tired of hurting people. If I hurt you, valid, let's fix it, you know?
Has she apologized to you for all of the nasty things she said about you?
Where are these videos where she said something about her?
I don't know if she apologized for that, but she was like, how can we come together?
Because it seems like
Because they need to make money. They're coming together to make money for the show. How can we come together and make money?
and you're like, yeah, you know, Whitney this, Whitney. Like, you seem very positive about her, and so to hear and to have watched all of...
Because she's banking on Whitney being an asshole because Whitney's an asshole, and she knows it's going to happen. So she's like, whenever your enemy is making a mistake, shut your mouth. Basically, shut up. She does that on purpose. She's smart. right? She knows that Whitney's going to make herself out to be the total butthole and shuts her mouth because it makes her look better. She's smart that way. But she's also a butthole, everybody.
The things she said and the way she acted towards you, it just makes me feel protective over you of like,
I haven't even seen
don't
it.
let her in, you know, like, don't let her walk over you, don't let her in, like, have that wall up with her.
Anyway, I don't care. I'm going to watch the show myself. 124, they talk about what do you want, how do you want people to see you? This I got to hear.
Because it's not there right now for me, you know? And I'm very clear to, I feel like, most of them about that.
How do you want people to see you?
I don't even know how I see
I'm like so nice and stuff, and I'm not a violencer.
Sometimes I feel like I'm still learning. I still struggle a lot. I feel like with mental health, like I feel like very lost sometimes. I feel like Dakota's like, I feel like you don't even know what you want. You know, like you're very lost. Like, what do you want? You know?
Do you still question? I mean, you it comes up a lot during the show. But do you still question whether you're a good person or not?
Yeah, I do. I do.
She's not a good person. Spoiler alert. Got it for you. You perpetuated and kept going in this world that clearly you're not made for. That's ruined your life multiple times, and you don't give a shit because all you care about is yourself. It's not made you better. You're not a good person. You're terrible. A good person would have changed everything about themselves. They would have left the internet. So many people have done that, but not you. All you care about is fame. It has not made you better. It has made you worse.
So I fully don't think I'm like I think I've done better and lessons have been learned, but I feel like I have a long way to go, and I feel like I could be better, and I'm not forgiving myself, and I don't know how people actually do that for the things I've done. You know?
Yeah, I don't forgive you. No one should.
You're speaking more specifically of with regards to
all of it. Like I guess what I did to my best friend. Like no, my husband.
Did she just slip there? Whoops.
I have a lot of guilt with that. Like how did I?
Whoopsie.
And I deserve what I got from Dakota. And how did I do there, like that night with my kids? There's just so much like.
I think kids part.
She always like passes over the kids thing. Like that's the worst of it all. Okay, adults can get over stuff. That's the worst thing she did. And she always glosses over like, oh yeah, the thing with my kids. You know, the little thing where I almost killed them.
It's hard.
I hear
don't
you
know.
on that, hanging on to that guilt. Mm-hmm. The other stuff feels like a lot of people were involved. A lot of people made a lot of decisions. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of blame to go around.
But at the end of the day, I know what I did.
I think you can still hold yourself accountable for what you did, and I think you are, without taking other people's blame as well.
Yeah.
Shut up. Anyway, I'm not gonna like sit here while you blow smoke up her ass. No thanks. Anyway, so that's the preamble into me watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, because I'm definitely gonna watch it, 100%, and snark on it. I wish I could snark on it, like react to it, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll put a camera and set it up and then blur it and change the voice so I don't get in trouble for it, just so you guys can see that I'm kind of like watching it. I don't know how I'm gonna do it because they'll strike me right away, but there it is. So the Taylor Frankie Paul interview, again, a few takeaways. She's trash. She knows she's trash. She glosses over the actual worst thing that she ever did, which was hurt her child, and that's the thing that she should focus on the most and be most sad for. She says she wants to change and be better, and yet she continues down the perpetual path of being an influencer in this world that's always hurt her and destroyed her family and her life, but she doesn't want to give it up because that's the thing that matters most to her. The thing that matters most to Taylor Frankie Paul is Taylor Frankie Paul, okay? Get you somebody who loves you like Taylor Frankie Paul loves Taylor Frankie Paul, okay? Because she's a selfish, narcissistic douchebag, okay? And doesn't deserve what she has. These people don't deserve it. They're gross. They're nasty. Everybody hates them, and you shouldn't even hate watch it. Why would you hate? Why? Come here and watch it with me. Okay? It's crazy. Everybody, take a deep breath. Oh, these people. Just, we need a good teddy bear hug. Okay? A little teddy bear. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being here. What do you think below? Tell me what your opinion is on this whole situation. Why do we watch this stuff? Why do we make these people famous? What the hell's going on? Okay? And if you know the tea on Whitney, you reach out to me, okay? I want somebody who knows the intricate details. I will buy you dinner. Okay? Thanks for being here. You guys are amazing, incredible, valuable. Don't forget, someone has a crush on you, and I'll see you when I see you.